In our previous episode, we explored what DNA is and how it preserves the history of life. Today, we're using that genetic record to answer one of humanity's oldest questions. Who were our ancestors? For over a century, scientists relied almost entirely on fossil bones. Today, we combine fossils with genetics, ancient DNA, archaeology, and evolutionary biology to reconstruct our own family history with remarkable confidence. One of the biggest misconceptions is that evolution is a straight line. It isn't. Human evolution resembles a branching tree. Many species existed at the same time. Some survived for hundreds of thousands of years. Others disappeared without leaving descendants. Only one branch remains today: Homo sapiens. Australopithecines represent some of our earliest known human relatives. The famous Lucy fossil, discovered in Ethiopia, showed a species that walked upright while retaining many ape-like characteristics. Their brains were still relatively small, but walking on two legs had already evolved. Although no ancient DNA has survived from these early hominins because of their great age, comparative genetics allows scientists to estimate when our lineage diverged from chimpanzees, roughly 6 to 7 million years ago. Homo habilis possessed a larger brain than Australopithecus and is associated with some of the earliest stone tools. These simple cutting tools transform survival. Evidence suggests increasing meat consumption, improved scavenging, and greater cognitive flexibility. Although no DNA survives, genetics confirms Homo habilis belonged to the expanding Homo lineage that ultimately produced modern humans. Homo erectus represents one of the greatest success stories in human evolution. This species developed larger brains, more modern body proportions, and spread from Africa into Europe and Asia. Evidence suggests the controlled use of fire, cooperative hunting, and increasingly sophisticated tools. Many researchers consider Homo erectus the ancestor from which later human species evolved. Many anthropologists believe Homo heidelbergensis gave rise to multiple later human groups. Populations remaining in Africa eventually evolved into Homo sapiens. European populations evolved into Neanderthals. Asian populations may have contributed to the Denisovan lineage. Ancient DNA from the Cima de los Huesos fossils provided some of the earliest genetic evidence supporting these relationships. Neanderthals lived throughout Europe and Western Asia for hundreds of thousands of years. Far from being primitive cave dwellers, they made sophisticated stone tools, hunted large game, buried their dead, and cared for injured members of their communities. Archaeological evidence paints a picture of intelligent, highly adaptable people who successfully survived harsh Ice Age environments. The greatest breakthrough, however, came not from archaeology, but from genetics. When scientists sequenced the Neanderthal genome, they discovered that Neanderthals and anatomically modern humans interbred after Homo sapiens migrated out of Africa roughly 50,000 to 60,000 years ago. People of Eurasian ancestry today typically carry about 1 to 2% Neanderthal DNA, inherited from those ancient encounters. For many years, researchers believed Neanderthal DNA was absent from African populations. More recent genomic studies have shown that's not entirely true. African populations also carry a small Neanderthal genetic legacy, generally around 0.3 to 0.5%, introduced primarily through later migrations of people back into Africa. This discovery completely transformed our understanding of human evolution. Rather than replacing one another, different human groups met, migrated, interbred, and exchanged genes. Every human genome preserves a record of those ancient encounters, making our DNA a living archive of our shared past. One of the most remarkable discoveries in genetics came from a tiny finger bone found in Siberia. Scientists extracted DNA before they even knew what species it belonged to. The genome revealed an entirely unknown branch of humanity. They named them the Denisovans. Today, populations throughout Oceania and parts of Asia still carry Denisovan DNA, demonstrating that our ancestors interbred with them as well. Modern humans first appeared in Africa approximately 300,000 years ago. Over time, our ancestors spread across the globe. Along the way, they encountered Neanderthals and Denisovans. Rather than completely replacing them, they occasionally interbred. Every modern human genome contains a record of those ancient encounters. Our DNA is literally a living archive of human history. Ancient DNA transformed anthropology. Instead of relying only on fossils, scientists can now compare complete genomes. DNA revealed hidden populations, It uncovered ancient migrations. It identified interbreeding between species. It confirmed relationships that bones alone could never fully resolve. Our understanding of humanity has become dramatically more complete because of genetics.